Hey guys, Utah Steve here with Utah Outdoor Adventures. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hopefully you can hear me. I put some foam rubber over the microphone because it's windy and cold out here in Utah's West Desert. Take a look around. It is a stormy day, the kind of day that makes for a nice adventure. And with me this time is Murphy, as usual, and my oldest son, Ashlyn. Say hi, Ashlyn.
Hi. I broke the rule of camping.
What?
I peed uphill.
Oh, you peed on your boots?
Uphill.
See, it's already an adventure. Murphy's setting up his tent. We're all gonna get our tent set up, and we've got a nice fire pit. So this is really close up on my face. Sorry about that, guys. I just realized. There we go. So we're gonna get our tent set up and go from there. So we're all set up. There's Murphy's tent. Brand new Alps mountaineering. Murphy hasn't used this yet. It's his first camp out with it. You're probably familiar with my Eureka Solitaire if you've seen my other videos with my gear reviews, and also my Antelope Island camping trip that I took with my 6-year-old son Dylan. We both slept in that part of the night anyway until some drunk people showed up. And here's Ashlyn's over here. His is quite the heavy vintage tent. It weighs 25 pounds. Good thing we're car camping and not backpacking. So, tell me about the tent.
It's a military surplus tent. It was made in the 80s. It was a training tent, so it was used, but it never saw combat.
Weighs 25 pounds.
Weighs 25 pounds.
It's canvas.
It's super heavy. It's canvas, but it's warm.
So this is similar to what they used in Vietnam.
Yeah. Yeah, it's authentic too. It's not like a replica.
Nice. Let's give a peek inside.
Yeah. It's really, really dark in there.
Yeah, I got a pretty good shot. Yeah, it has no floor, so you had to put a tarp down for that. Looks like you'll be comfortable though. Yeah. A lot of room.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 2-person. The way they set this up though, it's pretty cool, is it actually splits in half, so there's 2 halves, and the way they did it is they would have one person carry one half, another person carry another half, so they'd have 2 people to come together to like camp together, so that they wouldn't have to carry like an entire tent on them because it's so heavy.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, so everybody had one of these, not both of them.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
What are the snaps all the way up it?
It's just for the door. The door snaps all the way down.
Oh, it all snaps together on top too,
yeah.
Huh?
It has this second layer, so that on the top it'll arc over this way, so there's no way the rain can get in.
Boy, can you imagine being in Vietnam where it rains like you wouldn't believe?
Every couple hours.
And you're just stuck in one of those.
Yeah.
We'll see how it does tonight. It's looking like we might get our fair share. Okay, Moose, let's go look at yours. Okay, so tell us about yours.
It's an Alps mountaineering tent. I don't know.
Did you get it off Amazon?
Yeah.
How much was it?
I don't remember. It was over $100, but just barely. I think it might have been 110.
So not ridiculous expensive.
No, but I don't know. It's pretty sturdy. Has aluminum poles, so it's
nice.
I don't know.
So if lightning strikes, you're the first one hit.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's roomy. It's a 2-person, but
Nice.
I don't know.
Cool. Zip it open. Let's have a look. Where's the opening? This looks like the opening.
Well, it has a door on both sides.
Oh, okay. Two doors. That's handy.
So,
Oh, nice vestibule. Got a lot of room in there.
so I don't know. It's pretty.
Same sleeping bag as Ashlyn.
Yep.
By coincidence. You got some space over there in that vestibule too.
Yeah, I think that's might be where I'll put my pack tonight.
Oh, you're set, dude. There's lots of room in here.
Yeah.
Cool.
So much more room for activities.
I know. Because there's so much to do in a tent.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to switch cameras. This is my weatherproof camera. The other camera was really starting to go blurry because of the cold weather and the rain. So this one will hold up. Yeah, it's really starting to drizzle. What time is it? Anybody know? Murphy's gone to bed for the night. It is?
Yeah,
7:20. So I think we're gonna try to light a fire. I don't know about that, but let's just at least make dinner.
Yeah.
Think?
Yeah, probably. I don't have to worry. I've got those MREs. They have their own heating too.
Oh yeah. Well, I just have my stove. So here's the messy back of the car. That's my pack. My cook pot, stove. Tonight's dinner is a Mountain House macaroni and cheese for me. I'll go ahead and get that started. And what are you guys? Ashlyn's
I don't know.
Ashlyn's having an MRE.
Yeah.
What kind?
I don't know. I have
He
like
doesn't
all
know.
of them are chicken related.
Okay. What are you eating for dinner?
I am having either sweet and sour pork or chili mac.
You bought them both?
Yeah. I figured because we're lunch tomorrow, I'll have one man. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's get this going. I don't think we're gonna start a fire. It's raining too much. Here's my food bag. I've got a couple of Belvitas in there, some ramen noodles, some Cliff Bars, and a couple of Mountain House meals for dinner and breakfast tomorrow. Gotta find a way to block the wind so I can cook on my stove. So I got a little creative. This is my front wheel, by the way, so not by the gas tank, but the wind kept blowing out my stove. This is my kid's car seat, Dylan's or Julian's, and I'm using it as a wind block just to boil 2/3 cup of water for this mac and cheese. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my windscreen that I made. I don't know why I didn't. It crossed my mind. I knew it was going to be stormy. It's one of those things you learn from when you get out in the outdoors and realize you forgot something or should have included something or brought too much of something. So here's what we're looking at prior to it being cooked. The mac and cheese, very dry and powdery, of course, dehydrated meal. Looks pretty good though. See how our water's coming along. Nice, almost to a boil. It's only 2/3 cup, so it won't take long. It was raining enough that I, as you can see, broke out the frog togs. I love these things. I can't believe what a difference it's made just in blocking the wind and the water. I feel a lot more comfortable being out here. To be honest, I was getting really miserably uncomfortable. And as soon as I put these on, things drastically improve. So it's important to remember to bring the right gear with you. We're not millions of miles away from civilization, but we're pretty far if something went wrong with the car, or who knows. You got to make sure you're prepared. And this isn't just about comfort, this is about keeping myself warm, avoiding hypothermia and that kind of thing. So, I mean, look at these storm clouds. They actually look lighter in the camera than they are. They're pretty dark, and that storm's kind of gonna blow right in over us for the next 3 days. Luckily, we're only here overnight, so. Okay, so we have a full boil. Well, close enough to one. I'm going to pour it in the bag here. Let's not do that. Turn off the gas and pour it in. Now, instructions say to, sorry, I've got my spoon in my mouth. The instructions say to stir it up, let it sit for 3 or 4 minutes, open it, stir it again, and let it sit for several more minutes, like 8 or 9 more minutes. Seal the bag. Go. Wait for dinner to cook itself. In the meantime, I'm going to dig out a Snickers bar I brought and eat part of that because I'm starving. Oh yeah. Good source of energy, fat, calories, all that stuff you need to stay warm. While we're waiting for dinner to heat up in the bag, went over here when we first got here. Used the men's room, so to speak. Found all these bones. They're just scattered all through here. Look at that. There are coyotes out here. There are pronghorn deer. A lot of people like to call antelope, jackrabbits, all the similar animals that were in my Antelope Island video, minus the bison, the buffalo. Those aren't out here. Those were planted on the island. I always find it curious whenever I find scattered bones like this. I never find the skull. And I don't know if that's because somebody got to it before I could find it. Because I'm the kind of guy that would take one home and add to my weird collection of oddities. Or if some mystical thing happens to an animal's head once it's been eaten. I don't really think that, but it's weird. There's never a skull. Anyway. The original plan was for the whole family, Joanna, my wife, the 2 little ones, Madison, my stepdaughter, and Ashlyn Murphy, and Ashlyn's wife, Abby, a whole bunch of us, to head out even further west that way, along the Pony Express Trail, and out that way there's the Dugway Geode beds, where you can dig for geodes. Ashlyn Murphy and I went in April of 2012. Here's a shot of some of the geodes we found. Unfortunately, as the week wore on, we realized what the weather was going to be like. Ashlyn Murphy and I were still diehards about coming out here as long as there wasn't going to be lightning, and I haven't seen any, thankfully, but we are kind of in a low end of a valley, so that's good. Dylan and Julian, the 2 youngest ones, 4 and 6 years old, the 14-year-old teenage girl, Madison, would have been miserable out here, and I think my wife would have been fine. I do have an air mattress in the SUV that she probably would have been happy to sleep on inside a car. Ashlyn Murphy and I, and Dylan and Jude, are the tent campers. I just would feel awful if Dylan and Jude were out here freezing cold. It is pretty chilly. I'd say it's in the low 40s right now. Who knows what it's going to be like tonight, but you know, there are tricks to keeping warm, and we'll talk about those a little later. Anyway, no geode bed trip this time. It was almost 3 years ago to the day that we went last time, and it was 70 degrees, beautiful sunsets. Here's a few more shots from that trip. So as you can see, we had a great time, and here it is 3 years later, almost to the day, and it's completely different weather. But it's not going to stop us from having some fun, and Joanna gets to stay home and watch whatever show she wants as late as she wants without me making fun of them. Dylan and Jude and Maddie can be in a warm, safe bed tonight, and Ashley Murphy and I will worry about coyotes and freezing cold temperatures. So that's how it goes sometimes, you know. Okay, time to give the mountain house a stir. You can see why they say stir it again. It's a little watery. Stir it up some more. Ooh, that's nice and thick. Look at that. My goodness. And then we'll leave it in there to cook another 7 or 8 minutes or so. I'm also going to make some hot cocoa to warm my bones. It's all about comfort, you know. There's no point in being out here and being uncomfortable and miserable unless you are in a survival situation or trying to train yourself for one. It's really beautiful out here. We've got this whole little valley to ourselves. Isn't that incredible? Those storm clouds. This expedition's been through a lot with me. I'm going to hang on to her as long as I can. I'm quite pleased with it. Let's go see what these guys are up to.
Like, my pants are getting all dirty and wet, and I realize they're not.
But it's nice, huh? Murphy got himself a pair of frog togs, and this is the first time he's used them.
Can you turn that off? I can't.
Nice, Ash.
Oh,
What are you doing?
it's milkshake mix, but you need to clean my spoon.
Sometimes you're 5, dude.
But yeah, this isn't milk. Ew.
What? Oh, you going with the chili, Matt?
Yep. I figured sweet and sour pork is more of a
How much water
Much
did it
thing.
call for?
3/4 cup.
Yeah, mine was 2/3. That is the nice thing. It boils faster because you don't need as much water.
So sticky.
So what's up with your MRE here?
So it was like some kind of chicken and noodle pasta. It tastes like chicken Alfredo.
Yeah.
So it's probably chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
Um,
Had?
and what?
Did something go wrong with it?
No, I just ate it.
Oh, you ate it.
I put it in this little pouch,
You said
which
you
you
had
add
it.
a little bit of water, and like it gets extremely hot.
Right.
Cooks it.
So it's
And
just
this-
like the regular MRE.
Yeah. And this is vanilla dairy shake. Which
Dairy
sounds
food product.
Super delicious. And look inside, it's like clumpy. So,
So you get to chew it.
yeah.
Does it taste okay, even though its
Yeah,
texture
well,
isn't that great?
I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh,
You're supposed to drink it out of the pouch.
all right.
It is alright, it's just chunky.
Yeah. Kind of like when you don't stir chocolate milk up well enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
What else is in that bag? Is this all part of the same MRE?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, you got one of those still. Isn't that the one we used to use?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that used to be mine.
So we got peanut butter. A lot of peanut butter.
Nice. Always good to have.
We got bran crackers.
Cool. Bran or Graham?
Bran.
Bran.
Yeah. We got oatmeal cookies. So this oatmeal cookie, one cookie has, let's see, 280 calories in it.
Nice. Did you see how puny the calories were in these Mountain House meals? They've downsized them.
Oh, really?
The ones at Walmart, anyway. I'm sure you can still get the big ones. Their calories are really low.
Yeah.
I have a candy bar that has more calories than some of those meals. The beef stew had 190 calories in it, and my candy bar has 250. It's like, it's a meal. Come on, we're in the wilderness. We need to eat.
Yeah. And then it came with a moist towelette, a drink mix, and I added these.
Okay, cool.
And some pepper, which
Nice.
no salt, but pepper.
Cool.
Yeah.
Looks good. You got quite the setup here. You're ready for Vietnam.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen steaks like that. That's nuts. Look how big these things are. There's a pound. Just kidding. It's not quite that heavy.
I think they're made of aluminum. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm gonna go see if my dinner's ready. I'm tired of waiting. I'm kind of tempted to eat it even if it's not. Yeah, that's nice and thick. That's totally ready. And it's totally warm. That feels good on the hands. Okay, well, it's cocoa time. I always pre-measure this. It's, I buy cocoa in bulk. So I always pre-measure it into its own Ziploc before I come out. It's warm, it's comforting. Sorry about my finger, I didn't realize I was doing that. It's warm and it's comforting. And on a day like today, it's perfect. That's hot enough for cocoa. It doesn't have to be boiling. Let's turn that off. A little too much. Been pretty noisy with the airplanes flying over. It's usually really quiet out here. We're right in the flight path. Yeah. Bullet shell? Ashlyn and Murphy are goofing around with the metal detector. Oh yeah. That's nice. Just like Mama used to make. Here's your shovel. Just a little one. Improvise. What did you find?
Propane tanks.
And a bunch of 22 shells right here.
Oh, that's all it is. Yeah. That's all we're really gonna find. I'll be surprised if we find anything else.
That's cool. Look at that. Oh wow.
That's Vernon. Those lights in the distance. Tiny neat. That's those farmhouses we drove by.
Oh, okay. I could probably sprint all the way over there.
Yeah. Go! Well, Abby, I don't know what happened to Ashlyn. He started running and disappeared into the desert. Somebody shot up a propane tank. Ashlyn and Murphy are up on the hill looking for whatever metal they can find. And the wind has stopped. The rain has stopped. It's comfortable. It smells wonderful out here. The way only the wilderness can smell after a good rain. And so I'm going to light a fire. I left Joanna a cord of wood at home to light in the fireplace. She's the pro fire builder in our home. And if she was here, I have no doubt that we'd have a fire. Me? I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to be using a brand new ferro rod I got for like 12, 13 bucks. You can actually buy them at Walmart. I got it off Amazon. But it's a Gerber ferro rod. I tested it at home. It works really well. So puts off a really good spark. So here's our fire pit, our ring of fire. Let's see what we can do to make it better than that. Nice. It's getting there.
Yep.
The foliage around here is pretty damp from the rain. Our firewood's dry. And the dryer link's dry. Slowly catching.
There we go.
Hey, look.
Don't really need a whole lot. It's just.
The thing I love about headlamps is you can just look where you need to see and there it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to, the days of the flashlight are numbered. Oh yeah?
Probably not burn all.
Here's one problem we're running into out here. This little guy. There's a bunch of these all around our campsite. I don't know what to do in our headlamps. Like little kangaroo deer mice. I don't know what these are. They're little fat things. So hopefully, with Ashland's tent not having a floor, they don't try to pay him a visit in the middle of the night. Run, 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 run. They're everywhere. This is one of several. Ashland went to go take a leak and he almost whizzed on one. Well guys, it's 10 p.m. I'm inside my tent. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's raining steady. It's a mud fest out there. We're all in our tents. We had a nice fire, hung out for a while, and it's nice and warm and dry in here. I'm grateful for that. So I'm going to read for a little while and wait till the melatonin kicks in. We'll see in the morning. Have a good one. Well guys, it's just maybe 11:30 p.m. I have been tossing and turning for like 2 hours. I just haven't been able to fall asleep. I've been comfortable, I've been warm. Sorry about the creepy appearance. It's how it looks with my headlamp on my face, but yeah, I would just get to the point of just dozing off, and then I would wake up, and there's coyotes out here. They howl. They're far away. It's not scary or anything, but it wakes you up. I think Ashland is out, but Murphy was awake as well, having the same problem. So the biggest problem I'm facing is the Eureka Solitaire tent. Positive review on it. I love that thing. It rained and rained and rained forever, and not a leak, no condensation, just completely comfortable in there, except I can't sit up. So I'm sitting up, obviously, because I'm inside the expedition. I can't sleep, and when I can't sleep, I need to sit up and do something, read or something, and I can't do that in that tent. I just lay there, and it's misery. So one of the drawbacks to the Eureka Solitaire, a little update of my opinion of it. It's a good tent. It's really lightweight and convenient, but if you're the type of person like me that just needs to be able to sit up and function a little bit better than just sleeping in a tent, then probably not the way to go. So it's a great tent. Like I said, it just poured forever. Now the moon is out, the stars are out, the coyotes are howling. It's beautiful outside. It's absolutely amazing. And I just can't sleep. I'm wide awake. So I need to be sitting up. I'm probably going to just sit here in the car for a while and look at my phone, read something. I have some books on my phone, so I don't know. I've got my water bottle down by my feet. The sleeping bag is in here with me in case I fall asleep. Most important thing is to be able to get some sleep, not to just stick it out in the tent to see how it does. This is only my second time using the Solitaire, but the first time I've used it in bad weather. So if you want to call it bad weather, I think it's been fun. We've all had a great time, but I'm telling you, I just can't continue camping in a tent that I can't sit up in. It's just misery for me. So might not bother someone else at all. So I'm not really, it's not the tent's fault. It's just the kind of person I am. I need to be able to wake up and sit up if I can't sleep, and it's not happening. So I'm gonna sit in here and do my thing. Murphy's kind of going through the same thing. He'll probably eventually fall asleep easier than I do. I have sleep problems anyway. I took a melatonin. Usually that knocks me out cold, but I just have not been able to get there mentally. I'm just thinking. So maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, but once I'm awake, my mind starts racing and it's time to sit up and do something, whether it's get a snack and then go back to bed or whatever. That's my routine at home. But camping, when you can't even sit up in your tent, the only alternative I have is a car, and I'm just glad I'm not out in the middle of the woods backpacking, because it would really bother me that I can't sit up. I think I've said enough about that. I'm beating a dead horse. And so I will let you go, and we'll see you in the morning. And man, it's beautiful out here. I wish you could see it. This camera just wouldn't pick it up well or do it any justice. So anyway, that's about it. Gonna read and hopefully fall asleep eventually. Maybe I'll have a snack, Cliff Bar or something. Talk to you later. Good night. Well, good morning, guys. It is 7:45 a.m. Sun came up about 7 over the horizon. Still in the car, obviously. Joining me. That's Murphy. He didn't wear anything warm to sleep in or change into, so he ended up sleeping in his cold, wet clothes. And the sleeping bag that he and Ashlyn brought are 40-degree bags, and it got down to 37 degrees last night, so he got a bit cold when I came out here to sit. Probably a couple hours later, he came out and told me he was freezing, so we started up the car and he got warm and eventually fell asleep here next to me. And a little while after that, about 4 a.m., Ashlyn also was too cold to sleep because he was sleeping in a similar sleeping bag. The tents held up fine. It didn't rain after that first part of the night when we first went to bed. It was a clear, starry night with the moon out and coyotes howling. It was beautiful. It looks like we have more storm clouds rolling in. It's time to make breakfast. Ashlyn's already out there. You can see he's out there reading a book. Had himself something to eat. Here's what today looks like. More of what yesterday looked like. That's south, and the storm is coming up from the south, so that's kind of what's headed this way. It's a beautiful morning. And even though we spent the bulk of the night in the SUV for various reasons, it's been a really fun camp out so far. I think I'm gonna throw some clothes on and make my own breakfast. I'm hungry. That was a lot faster than last night.
Yeah, should have used the paper bag.
Is that what you used?
Yeah.
My McDonald's bag?
Yep.
There you go.
Caught really
Look at the
fast.
grease in that.
Yeah. Now it's burning black smoke.
Yeah. Where'd you find all this? Just hiking around?
Just over there, by
Sit
that
on.
propane tank.
Oh. Oh, look at this morning. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's not happening.
I'm gonna go take a leak. No, I'm not gonna video that. But I'll take you with for the hike. There's all kinds of debris around here from people shooting stuff up over the years. If you saw my spiral jetty video, I talked about my friend Gary, the 22 gun, 22 rifle. I'm not quite awake. 22 gun, I get it. The 22 rifle I got from him. He passed away in 2009. One of my best friends growing up. This is where we used to hunt jackrabbits together when we were 20, 18. I won't tell you how long ago that was, but you can't shoot here anymore, not in this area, because it's been designated for four-wheelers, motorcycles, that kind of thing. So it's a recreation area, so people can come here and recreate. So there are probably jackrabbits aplenty here, multiplying like bunnies. This is so beautiful. Look at this. This is up over the hill from our camp. Just miles of sagebrush and grass. Those mountain tops got some snow last night. Look at that. Anyway, find a spot to make wee-wee. This area is between Fairfield and Vernon. And this stretch from there all the way down, and then heading further west into those mountains is the Pony Express Trail. 16-year-old boys risking their lives to carry mail. The threat of Native Americans, Indians, whatever. Wildlife. In the summertime, this desert is so hot. It's just unbelievable. I believe the Pony Express ran through the summer for 3 months, but I'll pop that on the screen when I get more info. Out that way, about 50 miles or so, is the geode bed area that we were going to. And if you're familiar with this area at all, that is the head of Mount Timpanogos. That's the Princess's Head right there. That's Utah Valley, where Provo and Orem are, BYU. Murphy and I plan to summit that this year. It's a plan. We'll see if it happens, but it's a plan. Coyotes we heard last night were over this way, somewhere way out there. I also heard some later over that way, over that ridge, but so far away that it didn't bother me. It's not like I thought they were moving in on us. They were just talking to each other. They're harmless in and of themselves most of the time, but get them in a group, they can be pretty dangerous if you're not careful. Hey, look who's up. The Walking Dead.